Buddy, you think that only in United States there is a racism? No way. I mean, Europe is full of racists, and I'm European, I'm Italian. Actually, this story is related to my prime minister, the Italian prime minister, whose name is Silvio Berlusconi, named also the Joker of the international politics. This guy has been always a big ally of George W. Bush. He stays close to his ass, to Bush's ass, all the time. Even when McCain was campaigning, he still was there. He's an international disaster in any way. It's really the photocopy of George W. Bush in many perspectives. His politics, economical politics, are exactly the same. And thinking what George W. Bush did during the last 8 years, you can expect that these guys going to ruin the little bit of money that's been recovered by the previous government. That wasn't exceptional government, but at least recovered some money. You know, it's very similar to the Clinton-Bush situation, in which there was a surplus, and then now there is a deficit. You know, and it's very similar to all this McCain-Palin story. I will explain it in a little bit. But the interesting thing is, this guy, when Barack Obama was elected, said, "Oh, that's interesting, so I can teach something to Barack Obama." This guy has nothing to teach. It's like George Bush asked George Bush to teach something to Obama, which sounds weird, really weird, you know. This guy also said, and this is the real, the cherry on the cake, the icing on the cake. He said, talking to Medvedev, the Russian president, in public in Russia, he said that Obama is a young, handsome, and sun-tanned guy, which is a little bit racist, you know. And the point is that it's not only that. This guy has been always a big supporter of John McCain. From the diplomatic point of view, is a mistake. We know, for instance, Sarkozy in France and Merkel in Germany, they are right-wing kind of people. But they are smart enough that when they deal with the United States, they deal in the right way and dealing with the right people in the right time. So you don't expect from none of these persons to make any comment related to who? To the most important person in the world, which is the President of the United States. With an approval rate of the 90% worldwide, only 3 countries, as I already mentioned, were in favor in the world, were in favor of John McCain. With this huge approval rate, with this historical moment in the history of the United States, you don't make comments in general. And your people, even worse, they said that Barack Obama will do a big favor to Al-Qaeda. So you're already creating an international problem from a diplomatic point of view between Italy and the United States. That doesn't sound good. And even worse, you don't apologize for that, for what you said, 10 men. You don't apologize. Your government doesn't apologize on anything he's saying about Barack Obama. And even worse, you consider the American journalists that were pissed about your comment idiots. And I explain you what happened, actually. Both in Britain, the major newspaper, but they consider this gaffe very bad. The New York Times called Berlusconi racist. The CNN clearly said that maybe Berlusconi should learn, let's say, the meaning of inclusion from Barack Obama. And finally, Keith Olbermann considered Berlusconi one of the worst person in the world in his group, was showing also a very humiliating video of Berlusconi simulating fucking a person as a joke, because these are the kind of joke that this kind of man does. And I want to apologize to all the American people from most of the Italian people, because you have to know, and it's very true, because this is also supported by the Gallup polls, that 4 out of 5 people in Italy support Barack Obama, and they strongly wanted to have Barack Obama as a president. So this man is not talking, fortunately, in the name of my country, but he's talking his own name of his craziness. But we have to analyze why this man is like that. He's one of the most corrupted person in the entire world. He's the owner of television, and he tried to stop YouTube, and tried to close YouTube in Italy, and tried to avoid that people could use his the videos from his televisions in YouTube. But he used the YouTubers' movies and videos in his shows without paying the YouTubers for using these things. He controlled the press and tried to avoid people to be involved in a free country kind of attitude. Is destroying the education system in Italy, and the worst thing is that his government is supported on one side by an ex-fascist, the ex-fascist party, which is not cool. I mean, these people up to 3 years ago, they were all in favor of Mussolini, and now they are in the government in Italy. And that reminds me a little bit, you know, the story that happened during McCain campaign. All these people that are anti-Muslim. So it's very similar to the campaign, the McCain situation that we saw during the last days, you know, and in which you had this anti-Muslim, anti-immigration strongly, at the point that they tried to pass an immigration law in Italy that was condemned even by the United Nations, just to give you the idea of the kind of person. Even worse, he is supported, as I mentioned, one side by this ex-fascist party, on the other side by a secessionist party that wants to divide the north of Italy from the south of Italy, but they love the idea to be in the Italian parliament. It's more or less like Sarah Palin and her husband, you know, Todd Palin, that was palling with secessionists in Alaska until 2 years ago, and Sarah Palin then makes speeches at the Alaskan Independence Party just a couple of months ago in 2008. Well, this guy really had a party, and they fought their ass off. They boo the Italian anthem, and they if they can piss on the Italian flag, they are the happiest one. But there are people that put these people in the Italian government, because unfortunately in Italy there are a bunch of idiots that still believe that. But as I mentioned, I believe that things in Italy are going to change in the next years. People are really exasperated, even if most of them have been stupid in voting again. But it was like a Bush situation. Most of Americans voted Bush, and now finally Americans woke up. And now it's the turn of Italy. Probably we can expect that Italy at a certain point will wake up, and with this Obama mania that now we have, finally then start coming back to reality and breathe new air, you know, breathe new air. So what can we expect from these people? It's more or less the Bush situation. You know, when we have to touch the bottom so that you can climb up. And after 3 times that these Italian idiots put this guy in place, I think that there will be a time in which climb up. But to climb up, unfortunately, we don't have an Obama yet. So this video is also for your support from American, Canadians, anyone's, to help the Italians to find their own Obama, to find a person with enough personality and enough coolness and integrity on any way that he can bring this country up in a moral sense, this moral attitude that Italy lost since many years. So I believe that many Italians will support these videos. Some of them will not understand what I'm saying, but I need your support. I need you to spread this video over. I need that the world know that Italy is governed by a fascist racist government and discrimination. Not to talk about their discrimination against gay people. Their minister of culture consider gay people that have to be cured. So there are a lot of shit going on in Italy, and I need